Welcome back to Action Reaction, our action movie podcast with me, Zane, Simon, and Troy. We are here doing a mini episode on last week's show about prophecy, in which you talked about Looper, and I brought up, I talked about Lady Snowblood, and both movies steeped in prophecy. Both movies, a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not even going to bash Looper. It's an enjoyable movie. But I want to hear your thoughts on Lady Snowblood now that you've seen it.
So I joked in an earlier episode about how, like, I know the classics because I've seen what Tarantino stole from them. And this movie, like, that was a joke, but it's also kind of true. That's
oh, no, yeah.
And there were just a couple of real solid moments, like obviously the ending, like walking out and dying in the snow, and also the shot where like all four of like the backing down in like at the body into the camera. I'm like, that motherfucker, he just straight up lifted these shots, and I'm not even that mad about it because it's like I think it was Jack O'Brien at Cracked who brought up how Daft Punk, like most of their stuff is they're just stealing funk lines from the 70s. But you know, it's like having a friend with really good taste to recommend the good stuff for you. That's kind of Tarantino's thing to me. And again, it just leaps off the screen when you see this.
No, yeah, it is absolutely one of his core movies, and yeah, I can't be mad about it just because it's like it's not a lot of the stuff he lifts from. They're not movies people are even gonna watch. Like it's not like he's going out there and like, you know, stealing a car chase from The French Connection or something where it's like, okay, yeah, you've gone and found this classic that everybody loves, and you know, or it's like just taking part of Goodfellas or something, and it's like, dude, come on, like if you're gonna pull from some Japanese samurai movie from the 70s that is like only for diehard genre nerds, I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah, he's just the nerdy friend with good taste. That's all I need him for.
It's true. Other thoughts beyond the Quentin Tarantino copping the vibe?
There were. I loved that the intro song, like one of the lyrics is just "with her umbrella sword." As soon as I saw that just come across the screen, I was dying and like legitimately ready for this movie. I'm like, that brought me in, and I was ready there.
It's a great piece of pulp cinema. It really is.
Yeah, and one thing that I felt like it benefited a lot from is that it was filmed at a time where traumatizing a naked child is just one of the sacrifices you make for your film. That definitely happened. That's a part of this movie.
Oh yeah, Japanese grindhouse cinema in general, like 70s grindhouse, whether it's Japan or Italy or even American grindhouse cinema in the 70s. It's just like, let's just do whatever really, really fucked up shit we can think of, and if, you know, whatever. Like, we're just not going to be that concerned whether it's killing animals or traumatizing children or showing really, really graphic, violent rape. It's all good in the name of my horrible, twisted cinematic needs.
Right. And those are some of my favorite stories about like old Hollywood, for as little as I know about it, where they're like, oh yeah, that flood scene, they just flooded it and an actor almost died. And so when I saw, you know, that scene of like, oh yeah, we're just gonna yell at this naked child, I'm like, oh yeah, this kept going. That's how movies were made.
Uh, yeah, and I love the combination of like the weird, like I say, it's like the Japanese sort of super traditional Japanese mixed with this weird Victorian vibe laid over the top of it.
Yeah, and it was so stark in like that. I don't know. It's not like the last scene, but essentially like the boss battle of the movie, where it's like a whole bunch of Westerners, and it's a very like Western looking party, and then straight up samurai shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it because it's just it's one of those fun movies that even I didn't see it for that long until all that recently, and it was just like this is such a pretty cool movie. It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and it helps that there is like some good legitimate cheese in there.
Oh yeah.
Kill the teacher guy. His line is, "This is an outrage." Why? It's just it. That stuff really did like help carry me through the movie, because like I'm not joking when I say like movies with subtitles I just don't have a great attention span for, but having those unintended comedy beats in there really helped keep my attention on it. So yeah,
I'm glad. Yeah.
anybody else who doesn't really like subtitles, is give it a shot. At least try it.
Yeah, you're gonna. Unfortunately, you are going to be a slave to me actually dumping subtitle movies on you at this point, especially because you keep choosing themes where I'm like, I have to work so hard for this, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can come up with other themes, but for some reason, you let me do that.
I am not going to trust you to have a more complicated creative process other than grabbing onto the first thing that passes through your head.
That's about it. Like, I just think of a movie I like and some bullshit that I can spout off about it.
Exactly. If I try to complicate that, we are not going to create a more productive show out of that.
Yeah, and this might be a little bit of, like inside baseball for the listeners, but it's not shtick. Me and Zane don't tell each other what movies we're doing beforehand. He's legitimately disappointed most of the time.
I am. This is true. I want you to be better, but I'm willing to put up with I'm willing to put up with what you can produce.
Well, projects take work.
That's right. So on the flip side, I got to watch Looper again, which was fine by me. I like Looper. I enjoyed it. I hadn't watched it for years, so it was fun for me to revisit it. There's some dumb shit in there that I had totally forgotten about.
What were you like most surprised about when you rewatched it? Like, was it something dumb? Like, what moments were you just like, oh, this is part of the movie?
What the biggest one, and you may have seen this when I sent it out on Twitter, was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's makeup.
Oh yeah.
Like, he always looks like he's either just stepping into or out of drag.
Yeah, it's great.
He's got lipstick on throughout the whole movie. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I felt like it kind of played into a bit more of like this is a depraved, sex-driven, crazed asshole. Where it's like, oh yeah, no, he does all the makeup things that would be offensive to, like a sense of, I don't know, Midwestern sexual modesty. He really goes in.
Yeah, and I mean, I wish they'd actually shown him putting on the makeup. That would have been like the best thing, I think.
Oh, it would have been beautiful. I've never thought of that, but that would definitely add something.
It would. So, yeah, the makeup was kind of a weird thing to see. Like, there were a couple of scenes. Like, it really just looks like it's like, next he's gonna apply a little more foundation. He's got some on there, and then he's gonna put on a wig, and then he's gonna put on a pretty dress, and then he's just gonna be David Duchovny in Twin Peaks, if you remember that.
I vaguely do, yeah.
I've been rewatching Twin Peaks, so that's why it comes to mind. It's
okay.
David Duchovny playing the transvestite FBI agent.
So tell me if this rings true for you too, but I still feel like the least believable part of this movie is that pretty boy makeup wearing Joseph Gordon-Levitt grows up into Bruce Willis.
Okay, that's one of the other two things I really wanted to talk about. That transition, the transition from Joseph Gordon-Levitt to Bruce Willis, is one of the most poorly conceived transitions
It is a
imaginable.
ridiculous montage.
Because, like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going along, he's spending his money, he's doing drugs, he's robbing banks.
Grows out like some Vince Vega hair.
It's all fine and believable. And then they just flash to a scene of Bruce Willis with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's hair, but really receding badly. Like a coked out Bruce Willis who's like still goes to Trent Reznor concerts, but
Yeah.
in the future where Trent Reznor is now this like Rolling Stones like figure where people who've been watching him since they were 16 or going to his concert since they were 16 are still going when they're 60.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they just kind of throw that at you. Like this is who this character is now.
Yeah, it's so good. And I was laughing my ass off when I saw that again, just knowing like Bruce Willis with long hair, knowing that he was sick of acting years ago and he wanted to be a blues musician named Bruno. Just, like that's what he would have looked like if Bruno had taken off.
Oh, so there's that. That was terrible. Also, blunderbusses was a terribly dumb idea.
In what way?
It like in the name blunderbuss.
Yeah.
It's just one of those colloquialisms that there's no possible future in which blunderbuss comes back into style. You know?
Yeah, but I also kind of took it as like the more elite guys who had weapons that could actually shoot far and accurately. And they're like, look at you, blunderbuss chuckle fuck. Like
no. There is no universe in which blunderbuss is a functional part of linguistics as a put down or a pickup or anything.
I don't know. I think that I found an easier way to rationalize that than you have.
So there's that. Also, very slightly, I like the kid in the movie, which is weird because I don't like kids in movies.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
The reliance on a child for narrative strength, it still had its weak moments where you're watching this kid try to have like a really evil expression, and you're like,
right.
You're an adorable baby. You can't be evil, adorable baby.
We talked about in the episode that I wanted to get your read on. I still think that kid looks super Hitlery.
He does. He does look a bit. He does. He is a Hitler baby. And he's a Hitler baby. They wanted a Hitler baby to cast, and
he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. So in the end, though, I was happy to revisit Looper. It was fun. I still enjoyed it. It's still a beautifully filmed movie. I wish they'd done another of the tower climb fight scenes where they did with Bruce Willis, where he goes in with like the dual wield machine guns and clears out the nest of bad guys.
Oh yeah, like, that was definitely one of the better action scenes.
If that movie had like 2 more of those scenes, it would be a legendary action movie.
Yeah. I just don't think they had the budget for it.
They probably didn't.
Yeah. Anything else that stood out to you that you liked?
I mean, it's just a fun movie, you know. I thought. I also will say before we wrap up, because we don't want to make this too long, but I did like that they did not actually solve the problem with time travel.
Yes.
Really? Like it's a time travel movie where the ultimate problem is not solved by somebody being able to then travel back in time and fix it. It's solved by killing yourself, and then your future self cannot travel through time to fix it.
Yeah, and they did. It wasn't like super elegantly handled, but they did a good job of not getting bogged down in the mechanics of time travel. Yeah. With like they just kind of hand wave it off with Bruce Willis being like, "This time shit fucks with your mind. We're going to talk about some other stuff now."
I like that, and I like the use of practical effects, like the little time machine, and just people blinking in and out, and not a lot of and almost no CGI, other than the really minimal use for like hover bikes and shit, which was actually pretty well done.
Yeah, that and grown up Paul Dano vanishing before his own eyes.
Yeah, which was also really well done.
That's just a fun part of the movie.
It is. So in general, I still like Blooper. I was glad to get an excuse to rewatch it, and I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed Lady Snowblood as much, because that movie is nuts and weird.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I might want to make a consistent theme for these episodes is just finding one line that I really like from the movie to close out. And I would say my favorite was it's not ridiculous, but just saying, "You were born under unlucky stars." It's just like such a passive way to be like, "Yeah, that shit kind of sucks. That's your life."
Well, on that note, we'll be back in just a few days for our next actual full episode, where we will be talking about breaking the fourth wall, as Troy has put me up to, and I'm struggling to figure this one out. So you get to hear all about us trying to figure that out in just a few days. You can find me in the meantime on Twitter at TheZaneSimon. You can find Troy on Twitter at PDLMMA, and we will talk to you soon.